You think it's changed your attitude to people?
No, I think it's changed people's attitude to me.
Charlie Watts, and I'm still dealing with it.
I miss him really a lot.
Particular.
When I was complaining to Charlie's mother, don't worry about it, it will be over in a year.
Ever since I've been with the Rolling Stones, this has nothing to do with me.
In the mythology of rock and roll, the spotlight usually falls on the rebels. The swagger of guitars. The roar of the frontman.
It's to you, Charlie!
The chaos, the headlines, the legends. But sometimes, the most important figure in a revolution is the man standing perfectly still.
Mr. Watts, walk in and hit your mark.
Yeah, go on. What?
Say your words.
It's all about me and I'm the star, for once. Ever since I've been with the Rolling Stones, this has nothing to do with me, by the way. People have come to look at us. We've had a following. It's been quite incredible, what I call the Beatles period, which was exactly what was happening to them was happening to us.
In an era when rock stars seemed determined to live every moment in public, Charlie remained quietly out of reach.
How do you think being a success has influenced you as a person?
Well, I no longer think, unfortunately, about spending £5. That really is the only difference it's made to me.
The cameras followed him, the crowds adored him, the press wanted to know more. Yet the man behind the drums revealed almost nothing.
I loved it. As far as the excitement and the crowd, it's fantastic. And, when you see a balcony in one of these beautiful old theatres in the north of England bouncing up and down, it's incredible when you're looking at the audience.
You think it's changed your attitude to people?
No, I think it's changed people's attitude to me.
While the world celebrated excess, Charlie chose something far less glamorous and far more enduring.
I hated being chased by girls and all that. It used to really embarrass me. It's always been, that's what the Rolling Stones do, not me. I think the Rolling Stones are great, but I kind of don't see me in it somehow.
He was perhaps the most unlikely rock star ever created, a gentleman in a world of outlaws.
Charlie Watts, and I'm still dealing with it.
I miss Charlie on many levels. I miss wanting to play him this new groove, and want to say how badly England's done in the Test match yesterday. I miss him really a lot.
A man who did none of those things, yet became one of the most essential musicians the world has ever known.
Can't imagine the Stones without Charlie Watts. Charlie was the engine, the best drummer England has ever produced.
He laid down the feel for songs that are now my age. Ugh, I'm going to start crying.
A jazz man trapped inside the biggest rock band in the world. And somehow, that contradiction made him indispensable.
Because of what I do, I can't play the drums at home. And to play the drums, I have to go on the road. And to go on the road, I have to leave home. And it's like a terribly vicious circle that's always been my life.
You must have done a great deal of hanging about in 25 years, the Rolling Stones.
Worked 5 years and 20 years hanging around. A bit where the door shuts and you're on your own in that bloody room. And that drives me crazy. I sit there. But then, that's just me, I should really be downstairs, bopping around, but I'm not like that, so it's very hard. There's this sort of real split thing going on. It's all right once the sun comes up for me.
While others cultivated danger, Charlie cultivated discipline. While others chased attention, Charlie avoided it. He seemed to belong to another era entirely.
I've got nothing to do. I could lie in bed all day, and I could ask someone to lift me out of bed and carry me to the show. And as long as I was well, fit, and played well enough for the show for 2 hours, I could be carried back to bed, put in bed, and get up in 3 days' time for the next one.
Charlie Watts was never your typical rock star. There were no television sets flying out of hotel windows, no wild nights with groupies, and no stories of trashed hotel rooms. Instead, Charlie had his own quiet and distinctive way of spending his time, far removed from the usual rock and roll cliches.
He drew every bed that he slept in, every meal that he ate, every hotel room.
It started in 60-something, and it was something to do. It's a diary, and now I can't miss one because it's like ruining a day in a life of. So I just draw every bed that I sleep in when I tour with the Rolling Stones. I hate people touching my things.
Yeah.
I hate maids coming in my room in hotels. I live in hotels a lot of my life, but I always put the do not disturb, and sometimes I'm in there for 2 weeks. I never have them in there. I hate them in there.
What is it you hate?
Touching things I have.
If I went in his room to see him, if he was turned his back, I would move a book slightly and sit back down, and he'd turn around and he'd move the book exactly back where it was, and he'd be picking things up off the floor all the time.
It was a contradiction that made no sense on paper, a jazz musician at the center of a rock and roll hurricane. But somehow, that contradiction became his greatest strength.
I had the pleasure of him showing me one of his tour books once. They're very simple line drawings. And, you know, he'd have like, put your coat here, or a little sign like that, or mixed with all kinds of details from the room. And I always said to him, Charlie, you should release these. You know, people want to see them. Nobody wants to see this. I said, they do, Charlie. You know, it's a real eye into your world. And he wants to be in my world. You know, he totally underestimated his power as a person.
Never demanding attention, never seeking the spotlight, yet somehow becoming one of the most respected figures in all of popular music. Because Charlie Watts proved something few rock stars ever do.
I don't actually like touring, you see. I mean, I don't like living out of suitcases.
One word, particular.
He's famous for everything had to be organised in a certain way. Because I would often quiz him. So how do you do socks then, Charlie? Do you just roll them into a ball? No, you don't want to roll them into a ball. I'll show you if you want. And there in his room, these beautiful travelling cases. And then in the top drawer would be the socks. Well, you fold them in half, but you always put a bit of tissue paper in between, you see, that way that they keep their shape.
Clothes had a layer of tissue paper between each shirt, each sock, each underpant, each jacket. Pristine would be the word, not one thing out of place.
In many ways, Charlie Watts was the last person anyone would expect to become a rock star. And yet, he became one of the greatest.
You know, there were times when Charlie was OCD. He would avoid the cracks in the sidewalk. He would have to walk down or up a flight of stairs a certain way, or else he would have to go back down and start it all over, you know. That was there, you know, that was part of who he was.
Sometimes he'd even done it when he'd been introduced on stage, you know. He's gone, ladies and gentlemen, it's Charlie Watts. And you go forward a little bit and stop and pick up a little bit of dirt, you know, or a little, whatever it may be.
While rock stars chased headlines, for more than half a century, he remained devoted to his wife, Shirley.
I love playing the drums, and I love playing with the Rolling Stones. I mean, my wife always says I like them more than I do it, which isn't true.
Have you thought about taking your wife around with you?
She comes on the tours occasionally, but she doesn't like them. I don't blame her. I mean, what is it, really, you know? Apart from this show, and it's all me. It's what I do.
In a business littered with broken relationships and fleeting romances, theirs was a rare constant. A love story unfolding far from the spotlight.
There was no place for a wife. on the tours. You know, there was nothing to do, and I sat in these dingy hotel rooms and I sketched and I read and wished I was somewhere else. I just wanted to be with Charlie so badly. When I was complaining to Charlie's mother once about his absences, I think it was just before we got married, she said, don't worry about it, it will be over in a year.
And while other musicians embraced the chaos of celebrity culture, Charlie pursued different passions. He loved horses.
It gave him a peaceful place to live, you know. I did go to his place in Devon. I think they had 15 dogs.
Come on.
He took me around and showed me the horses.
We've always had horses ever since we've been married, but it's my wife's really. It's her love and passion.
How many have you got?
Outside of about 100. It's probably the best stud in Europe. And I stroll about like, I don't know.
You have been sort of Victorian squire then?
Well, that's how I live, really. You know, get up and go, and then we walk up the stairs, you look round at the horse.
Do you ride yourself?
No, but I have all the paraphernalia. I have the most wonderful outfits. I can't drive a car, but I've got beautiful old Lagonda. It's mad, isn't it?
No, why not?
It's terribly weird.
Oh, it was total respect for design. He wasn't trying to be a silly eccentric buying cars for the sake of it. No, he loved every line on that Lagonda. Sitting in it to him was like being in a painting, you know? And thank you very much. I'll wear a suit to match the colours of my car. And you just sit in and be the part.
Known for his impeccable sense of style, Charlie carried himself like a modern English gentleman.
I think the look of rock and roll is a bit shabby, but that's me, you know.
Elegant, understated, and effortlessly sophisticated.
He wasn't necessarily dressing the part of the rock star, but more of the jazzer who was playing in a rock band.
He seemed worlds apart from the stereotype of the hard-living rock drummer. Yet his individuality made him stand out just as much as any rebellious rock icon.
Now, this is another area where drummers doff their caps for old Charlie, that he could go out there in a very expensive suit and play drums, whereas I got to go out in shorts and a T-shirt.
Even within a band celebrated for pushing boundaries and embracing freedom of expression, Charlie's fiercely independent spirit was unmistakable.
He was just immaculate. I don't think he sweated.
He admired the elegance of a perfectly tailored suit. The things that fascinated him were not the things typically associated with rock and roll immortality.
Oh, yeah, Charlie. Bespoke suits, bespoke shirts, bespoke shoes.
One of his lifelong passions was bespoke tailoring.
I've got a campaign. I'm saving the bespoke tailoring industry single-handedly.
For more than 5 decades, he remained a devoted client of Huntsman on Savile Row, the legendary London tailor known for crafting some of the finest suits in the world.
I never knew him as Charlie. I always called him Mr. Watts.
Charlie became one of their most cherished customers, and his distinctive taste was so recognizable that his tailors affectionately nicknamed one of their fabrics the Watts stripe.
Every customer has their own paper pattern, and most customers have a suit pattern, maybe an overcoat pattern or something. Testament to Charlie's eclectic wardrobe, there's a big bundle of patterns on Charlie's hook.
It comes from my father.
Did he have a tailor? Did he take you to his tailor?
Yes. I thought in those days it was normal practice.
So what did your father look like? What kind of suit would he have chosen?
Actually, very much like I wear. A lot of what he liked was late 40s and 50s. So I live in TCM world, you know, Turner Classic Movies.
For Charlie Watts, style was never about making a statement. It was simply an extension of who he was, timeless, refined, and entirely his own man.
He had this elegant, relaxed posture. He wanted soft, flowing garments. That echoed his personality in a lot of ways. He never wanted to stand out. He was quite an introvert in a lot of ways, you know. He had a very good eye for detail. His eye for colour was great as well. He'd always put things together well. And sometimes he'd say, well, we'll make that, but we'll make it like this. And we'd have a conversation. And I'd think, really? Are you sure? And then we'd do it and it would work.
I have this disease that I see a swatch and have to have a jacket or something.
He used to spend a great deal of time worrying and fretting about where all these clothes were going to go. I think he'd try and drip feed them home so that his wife didn't see too many, but it didn't stop him ordering more. Got some suits here, actually. It's a shame he's never going to see. But he tried them and he liked them. So that was good.
Because while the Stones surged forward with swagger, attitude, and raw energy, Charlie provided something equally important: balance, stability, control. He was the steady heartbeat beneath the storm, the calm presence in a band often defined by turbulence. And that is why he became indispensable.
Charlie was that silent leader, the elder. They'll knock you in the nose if you say the wrong word. But on the other hand, there's nobody that you'd rather have by your side.
You never saw Charlie ruffled. And when the two of them, when they get ruffled, Charlie smiles. He sits back there and looks at them and says, oh, for God's sakes, Bernard, what are they on about? He was the equalizer.
He was a very safe haven in a complicated group of people.
Charlie was the rock, and they both loved him, and he loved both of them, and he's apolitical.
Charlie speaks, they both listen. Whether it goes to the Mick side or the Keith side, Charlie will decide that. Charlie will decide that. I miss that cat.
He famously had a little coat hanger on a stand that you get in hotels, and that's where he would hang his jacket. And hanging over the coat stand was a sign that said open or close.
That greatness does not always arrive with noise. Sometimes, greatness arrives quietly.
And when Charlie was playing the drums, it would say open, and when he wasn't, it would say closed. And the only person who changed it was Charlie.
And holding together the greatest rock and roll band in the world.